Okay, so we saw Ready Player One, the new big budget blockbuster by Steven Spielberg, and it was a lot about video games.
Yeah, it's what do they call it? Popcorn movie?
Yeah, well, it's like a summer action movie kind of thing, even though it's not summer. It was probably the biggest film since Black Panther came out.
Yeah.
And before, what is it, comes out? Avengers, Invasion, Interstellar, Thanos, Attack, Infinity War. That was close. But, okay.
I thought you would have went Infinity Gauntlet first. That's what the movie's called, right?
Avengers Power Glove?
That's how you already got my tickets for it?
I was wondering, you know how you were saying about that card you could get or whatever to see like
movie
a movie?
pass.
Yeah. Do they let you see movies like right when they come out like that?
Yeah. Any theater, anywhere.
Any movie?
Any movie. I think. I don't know. That's...
What if I had 500 movie passes? I want to see Avengers. Alone, please. What if people did that all around the country? So, like, it's like a blockbuster opening weekend, highest selling Marvel movie ever. Like, 2,000 people saw it, though.
There'd be very limited reviews.
Okay. And then the only person in your town that saw, well,
That was alright, I guess.
Almost worth it. Okay, Ready Player One, though.
Oh, yeah.
We're bad at this because it took us a week. We saw it about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And
maybe 2 weeks ago.
I moved on since then. I got a toothache since then. That's mostly what my life's been about since.
I'm sure that's consumed most of your thinking as well.
Yeah, like, I only want to watch movies where the protagonist's mouth hurts. I don't know.
Wow.
But I think the bigger problem is that, like, there was a lot of action sequences, but, like, what do we really talk about in the review, you know? Like, a lot of it is, like, these really, really good, really fancy, like, high-quality scenes of, like, these, like, you know, like, there's a war scene, there's, like, a giant race scene, which I really did like a lot.
That was pretty sick.
That was
pretty crazy. Like,
so there's just, like, these really huge CG, like, video game fest.
Yeah, like, how much can you, like, really talk about it when it's just all CG? And like, yeah, it looked like a pretty cool video game. Wish I could have played it.
Oh, we could talk about the super awkwardness when the protagonist tells the main female character he loves her. They met like a day ago.
Oh yeah, and like she tells him like,
nah, you don't.
You'd be disappointed if you met me in real life. Basically, it's like the thing you'd expect to hear from someone that you meet in a virtual world, I guess.
And then tell you love them. But it just came off like real awkward dialogue, you know? Like, it seemed really jarring to me when he did that. Like, I felt like there were more scenes where they hung out or talked more, where it wouldn't feel so insane that he did that.
Yeah. I just keep thinking of Half in the Bag, you know, like how they talked about the book so much, because, like, yeah, you can pretty much tell, like, it was geared towards, you know, like, teenagers and stuff. Just everything is real basic, real easy to digest.
Because they had to talk about the Easter eggs from the game Adventure on the Atari, came out in 1982.
That Easter egg that everyone knows about?
Everyone knows about. Well, that's like a whole separate thing. We should try to focus on, I guess, the story first.
What is the story? Like,
well, it's, I guess, like a love story, right? there's the kid. He goes into the thing. It turns out he's like a prodigy. So he discovers like, he starts discovering like basically like a treasure. It's I guess like a treasure hunt movie, right? Because there's the treasure at the end, which is control of the game and all the money that comes along with having the rights to the game, right?
Right.
And basically it's him versus the bad guys who get to the treasure first. Plus a love story.
Yeah. Basically.
But the love story was boring. But I guess no one was there for that. But the other part too, like the really lame, like, well, it felt very Spielbergian, I guess, kind of like the evil agents that are trying to capture E.T.
Yeah.
Like how they're evil agents, but they're also bungled by a dumb alien and his kid friend. And it was kind of like the same thing here, you know? Where it's like a super powerful corporation, but a teenager just steals the guy's password because he's a moron.
Yeah. And they have all those drone people in the games working for them. Not to mention all the fucking prisoners that they have.
I did really like a lot of the scenes with all of the company drone players.
That was interesting.
How all the drones you would see them like game overing and having to get out, like as the protagonists like were killing them all.
Yeah.
I thought that made for fun like visual sequences.
It was definitely hilarious. Like they had to do the Shining part of the game, and like everyone was like freaking out.
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, it was funny also because it just kind of juxtaposed, like, they probably hired all these people based on, like physical talent.
Yeah.
Like, just athletic people that can probably, like, are probably good at puzzle solving or something. And now they're all being traumatized.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the Shining scene was really good. It got a little kind of cheeseball at the end when, like, with the giant, like, axe and the hedge maze, where it got kind of, like, weird and surreal.
No, but that was, like, total video game. Like, if you were to make a video game of The Shining, that's what you expect. Like,
I really do want a video game of The Shining, but I do not expect to fight a boss. But, depending on who makes the game, I would be willing to fight a boss. There's very few game companies I trust to make The Shining.
Yeah.
There was like a weird phase, like around the PS2 era, where they did try to make like games based on movies for some weird reason. Like there's a Reservoir Dogs game. And there's like a couple others like that. There's a Scarface game.
Did you ever play the Terminator game on Sega?
I played T2, the arcade game for the Super Nintendo.
I don't think that was the same.
No, it wasn't. It was like a light gun game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so fucking hard. But, alright. So, what would you give the story of Ready Player One?
The story was like a... Wait,
I don't know, what's your rating system?
Okay, from 1 to 10. Like, the story was like a 4. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
So a little below average?
Yeah. 4.5, almost 5.
4.5837.
It was basically adequate.
Passable.
Yeah.
Good work, Spielberg. Way to come out of retirement swinging.
Shit.
Like Jordan on the Wizards.
Everybody knows this movie is just eye candy. Like, you just go for the visuals.
Yeah, and they were incredible.
Yeah.
Like, the scene for me that made, like, I don't want to say it made the movie worth it. It was not. No, that's me too. Everyone tried their
It was
best on this
good-
movie, and I'm very proud of you. So the whole racing sequence was rad because now,
Yeah.
like, it really made me want to play a game or be in a world where there's, like, where you would see, like, 500 cars racing.
I don't know if it's just my bad memory or it was just because we saw it so long ago, but like my remembering the race, like is it just like the main character, the guy in the DeLorean, his friend in the monster truck, and then the girl on the motorcycle? Are those like the only like 3 unique vehicles in the race, and then everyone else is those drone cars?
I think they implied that, like
I don't remember.
I guess you win credits or something in the game. So, like, the better you are and the more times you win at the race or whatever, or get close to winning, you gain, credits in the game or whatever, and you could use that to upgrade your stuff inside of the Oasis. There's, like, Oasis money that you could spend on Oasis stuff.
Right. No, but I'm saying, like, I don't remember there being a lot of, like, other vehicles in that race besides like the monster truck and the DeLorean. Do you remember anything that stuck out?
No, I'd have to take a look at it again. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's plenty of stuff. They could have like the A-Team van. You gotta have the Dukes of Hazzard. That's what I would drive.
Oh, wait,
If you're in a race.
There was this 60s Batmobile.
Oh, right. There would be, like, every single iteration of the Batmobile, like, 5 times in that race.
Tim Burton Batmobile was pretty rad.
I want the convertible one from the TV show from the 60s.
That was the one
Yeah,
that was in the
That's
movie.
the one I want.
Yeah?
Because I want to, yeah, you're Batman, but you want to let people know that you want the top down.
So you'd be open to headshots?
There was carefree times back then. Batman could hang out at the beach for a few hours.
Didn't learn from Kennedy, I guess.
Well, he did because he put the top on.
Eventually.
All right, so yeah, that would probably be all about that race though, because now that you know how the kids these days they're playing their 100-man multiplayer games like PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah, but those are only like first-person shooter type.
But why isn't someone has to be working on like a racing game where 100 people race each other?
Oh,
I would feel that would be easier to do. Well, maybe the physics are really hard, huh?
yeah, with so many
Of
cars.
100 people crashing into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, well, yeah, I guess when you're playing like PUBG, like you're never seeing more than like 3 or 4 people at once on the screen. Even though there's 100 people playing because the map is so big.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a gigantic track, and everybody starts in a different position. So I guess it would just be 3 laps from where you start, or something like that. No, people would crash the game. Well, okay.
You really want to figure out how to do this game right now?
Yeah. We're doing it, man. We're game developers now.
I wish it were that easy.
Yeah, we'll just read a book about coding and we're rich. We'll start a Kickstarter. Okay. Nah. If we're gonna get rich, we'll just scam people. I mean...
The old-fashioned way.
And we'll also edit that out. In case I'm being sued for a scam.
That's all you, man.
Unless I forge some documents. But, okay. So...
Did you hear
For me,
Skeptic's
if I-
Guide?
Episode 666?
Yeah, where they talked about the doctor that kill his patients and then, like, forge their wills.
No, I didn't get that far. I barely heard, like, the beginning of the episode so far.
Yeah, it was part of the science or fiction.
All the way at the end.
How do you only listen to part of a podcast?
Because I'm usually going to bed. or I'm like doing something and then I switch to doing something else.
I mean, yeah, I have like times where like I have to stop a podcast, but then I just pick it up again later.
Oh yeah, I haven't picked it up yet. I've been listening to basketball podcasts a lot because of the playoffs.
There's no game tonight?
There's 2 games. I'll have to check them out. There's one going on right now. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, we should probably finish this Ready Player One review.
Yeah. So, well, for me, it felt like a lot of the story was rushed. It just had a lot of the same problems that I feel like a lot of blockbuster movies have now, where it's like, holy crap, we spent $100 million on the race scene, so you better cut all that stuff where they talk because we're not spending money on that.
Yeah.
So like it's just like a lot of the movies feel like they're 2 hours, yet they still feel kind of rushed. It just kind of was plagued by that problem.
Maybe because like they have to make it so
dense.
But just to make sure that like everybody gets it, everybody knows what's going on. They just have to like explain everything at every minute of the movie.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of narration, huh?
Yeah. You always knew what was going on.
Yeah, if this was like a game for gamers, there would have been less narration. Because we would have understood that they're at a race now, or they're doing X or Y, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think kids would easily understand that, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. I forgot that, like, a lot of the talking in the movie, like, isn't part of the story. It's a lot of just the exposition about what's going on. It's the future. Everyone lives inside of the virtual reality now.
Yeah, but that stuff with, like, damn, it'd be good if we knew the name of the main character.
Percival? Or was that the genius guy?
No, yeah, it's Percival. The genius guy was Halliday, right?
Yeah.
So all the stuff with Percival talking to the boss man, and like him trying to bring him to the company, like that was all good stuff. Like, and they did the hologram of him so you could like see his office or whatever. It's pretty crazy.
I don't know. If I was that kid, that's where I feel like my plans would have shifted. Because when the boss is talking to him, like, come on, join our side. You can work for me. They'd be like, I would just yell really loud, like, hey, see, like, what is it? Like, board of directors, whoever's this guy's boss, fire this guy. I found the key. I should be in charge. This guy should see the door. And then I would take over their company, and then I would become evil.
There you go.
Or I guess I don't have to become evil because I'm in charge of the company. Maybe I could just make whatever.
What is evil, really?
I'm in charge of this major company. Look at this backlog of sexual harassment claims.
We're just gonna...
We better take care of that. Now that we're not an evil corporation, that's our first thing we're gonna take care of. You think you're gonna work for an evil villain and they're gonna look into those claims?
Their HR is gonna be like real strict on conduct in the workplace.
Yeah, for real. Like, oh, man, being a female henchman is fucking rough. All right, but now let's talk about all the dumb video game crap. It has no real bearing on the story and whether you like the movie or not, but because I know a lot about video games, I know they're full of shit.
There wasn't a lot of Super Mario.
Nintendo saw the movie. And I bet they had all the CG in place and everything, and they showed it to Nintendo, and then Miyamoto just like shook his head like quietly, like as like, you know, as like a quiet, noble Japanese man. He just like slightly shook his head, and then the executives just had to fly all the way back to America from Japan.
But first you heard a boom, boom, boom.
Or maybe it was different, like, like he said yes until he saw the movie. He flipped over a table. I won't have Mario in this madness. No, I don't know. They let Bowser be in Wreck-It Ralph, so it is strange that at least, like, there wasn't a Mario reference.
Maybe because that's Disney.
Maybe they got to shell out some big bucks and they didn't want to pay.
Yeah.
Like, man, we got to pay all these other people for all this other stuff. Nintendo was just too high.
But yeah, like I had pointed out, remember we just saw Battletoad. They had the Battletoads in there.
I'm sure that was an easy license to get.
Oh yeah.
Think Steven Spielberg knows what a Battletoad is? No. Mr. Spielberg, great movie. Who's your favorite Battletoad? What the? Get this guy.
Get away from me.
He doesn't even, like, he just walks away. But, okay, so the first thing was the 3 tests or whatever, right? Like, they had to do the 3 things that would get them the 3 keys or whatever.
Yeah, so there was the race, and there was the shining part. So
the first problem was, I think it was a problem, because I don't remember the movie, like, verbatim, but the Halliday, he said there's 3 Easter eggs they gotta find, right? Like, did he say they have to find Easter eggs, or did he say they had to find, or that they had to do, like, a mission?
I think it's just the keys that, like...
So there's keys somewhere.
Yeah.
And no one knows how to get them. Okay, that's fair enough. Because my first point is the race had the dumbest way to find the hidden key.
Just get to the finish line?
No. That you had to go in backwards.
Oh.
And that was... Have you played video games? Like, okay. So...
Yes, I play
everything
racing game
hinges...
and I constantly go backwards.
Everything hinges on the fact that there's 500 people racing. Or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. The only person that doesn't go immediately is our main character. Right? Like, he's the only person that... like, decides to, like, not only does he doesn't, first he just sits there, like, he doesn't go forward, and then, like, after a couple seconds, then he decides to go backwards, right? And 500 people playing online, this would not happen. If there's 500 people playing, like, there's 12 people playing Mario Kart when I play online, and... like, 2 people go backwards because they press the wrong button. 3 people don't go because they're not there. Like, they left or something, right?
Put the controller down.
Yeah. And then, they'll catch up later once they realize they're playing. So, like, this would never, like, someone would accidentally find this before someone thought of it by going through the Hall of Records. You know? And then, if someone accidentally did it, of the 500 people, a couple of them have to be using their rear view mirror and seeing a couple people not go, and then seeing a giant fucking hole open up when they go in reverse. And then, if I saw that, I would just immediately turn around and race right back down the... Like, it just wouldn't be so... clean, and it certainly would not take like 2 years to find.
Well, remember we were talking about like there's sometimes you have to suspend disbelief.
Yeah, but I also said we're past the part where it actually matters. I'm just being a dick now. Like, I openly acknowledge this has absolutely no bearing on the actual story, or I'm just being a video game nerd right now.
I'm glad you're admitting it. Yeah, I thought of that too.
I'm just saying, like the same way, like a World War II historian would, like, give you some actual facts if you're watching, like, Saving Private Ryan with them or something, right? Just giving you, like, The actual gamer in the trenches here, telling you how it's really like.
Okay, what about the second challenge?
The Shining one?
Well, they had to go through the...
Well, the girl got it first, right? By saving the girl?
Yeah, and the dance... something with dancing. I don't know.
Well, first, you coded an exact replica of your ex-girlfriend, dude. Creepy.
Everyone's in the Oasis, remember?
But no, because that's not her or her avatar. It's like a coded NPC, non-playable character.
Oh. Yeah.
So yeah, he had to code that. Anyway, the girl, what's her name? Artemis?
Artemis.
Artemis gets the second key by figuring out that she has to save the girl. I guess I don't have any problems with that.
Yeah, it was complicated enough that it worked, I guess.
I think it hinged on, like, how did they unlock it, though? Because I thought no one knew where the second challenge was hidden.
They found out that he took her on a date.
To see The Shining?
Yeah. So, like, they knew that The Shining was one of his favorite movies. And so they, in the Oasis...
Oh, they went to a movie theater in the Oasis?
No, like, on one of my movie podcasts that I listened to, they talked about how in the book, they reference how you can, in the Oasis, you can go to any movie and, like, basically be in the movie. Like, so, they also did a different movie. What else? It's a different movie.
Yeah, I think the challenges were different in the book.
Yeah. I forgot what they said it was, but it's different. But, yeah. Something about The Shining worked way better visually.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was a race in the book either for the first challenge. On Half in the Bag, they said it was like some old video game or something.
Yeah, it was like Dungeons and Dragons kind of.
Yeah.
That's cool, I guess.
But yeah, like the third challenge didn't seem that exciting because it was just trying to play an old Atari game.
But it wasn't just playing it. It was you
had to find the secret.
Play it for fun, yeah. Like, cause that was pretty cool how like they had the evil corporation had their drone people lined up playing it, and like when you died, they fucking fell through the ice. And then, like, the one guy who was playing the game and, like, was there the longest. And, like, he was playing the game to beat the game. And then when he said, I won! And then he'd fucking drop through the ice. Like,
Wait a minute, that's the exact opposite then.
Yeah.
No, like, thematically, like, you said, like, you have to play the game for fun, and that's how you find the secret, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you beat the third challenge. But the main character was playing to win the whole thing. That's the exact opposite of fun. He's trying to win $1 billion.
Yeah, but
and then the guy who played adventure to win the challenge, it looked like he was genuinely having fun with the game and felt genuine satisfaction when he completed it. Like, he went in thinking, I just gotta figure this out so I can please my corporate master. But by the end of the game, it's like, wow, this is actually really fun and I beat it, yay! And he loses.
Yeah, it sucks for him. But...
Well, I got a new favorite game. Well, maybe you need a new job.
Parzival was playing, he was doing the challenge so that he can keep the Oasis the way it was. Like, yeah, he was playing to win, but ultimately he was doing it for good reasons, so.
Yeah. Well, at least in this microcosm of the third challenge, That's a weird dichotomy between the goals of the people and, like, the narrative.
Yeah.
I guess the theme of the movie. But I just barely realized it now.
We definitely need to watch it again. Pull it up right now. Or we could watch Norm Macdonald Native American Jokes compilation.
Alright. Well, that's our review of Ready Player One. Is there anything else we gotta talk about?
Didn't you say you want to talk about the healthcare system?
It sucks.
It sure does.
I guess that's really all we gotta say.
Universal healthcare! Universal healthcare!
Don't live in America if you like to have money and stay alive.
Yeah. Who would have thought those would be conflicting points of view?
Like I was saying, I wanted, like, that list of, like, ideas I had for, like, taking care of my medical bills. Like, number 1, die. Oh, wait.
No.
I'm going to the doctor because I don't want to die. Yeah. And that, so...
Trying to avoid that.
Was, what, I feel like that's the American healthcare system in a nutshell. Was, like, well, if I was dead, I wouldn't owe anyone money. Like, well, that feels like a reasonable option for your financial situation. But then also I considered, we got a lot of guns in America. I'll just use one to, like, rob a doctor of their time. Give me a checkup or I'll shoot you.
That's where we're headed, man.
Outlaw healthcare. Alright, that's enough. Thanks for listening to the Bystanders Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/gamemusicforall. You can find links and show notes from today's episode at thebystanderspodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Bystanders Podcast and on Twitter at TBS Podcast. And you can support the show by subscribing to us at patreon.com/Genoboobs.
That's some good podcasting right there.